A bear, barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can make him stronger, faster, softer, better. The new BattleTanx Global Assault. Stronger, faster, better.
Yeah. So I had a few folks wanting me to do this game. Unlike the first game, though, I've never played the sequel, so it's gonna be a hoot and a holler. Or I'm just gonna curl up in the fetal position. I'm feeling it's like a 50-50 chance for either one. Huh. In a surprising turn of events, the manual actually offers very little in the form of narration for the game. 90% of it recaps the events of the last game. The only new info we get out of it is that it takes place in 2006 opposed to the prior game taking place in 2001. Though we do get some new info after the long recap. Griffin and Madison are happy together, running the army that Griffin had built from the first game. They even have a son. However, apparently Griffin had begun having nightmares about a sinister Queen Lord. Griffin has seen her before. Her face is evil, and something about her seems more than human. As if she has some sort of mysterious power that he doesn't understand, whatever that means. Griffin's instincts are telling him that she's somehow spying on him and his family, with some terrible purpose in mind. You, the player, will soon learn the truth as the mystery unfolds. Neat! Alright, so for vehicles we got BattleTanx, the classic M1A1 Abrams, the Goliath. However, that's not where it all stops this time. Now we get the Rattler, a 30mm Gatling gun with huge treads, the Flip-E, which stands for Full Lateral Propulsion Experimental, which is a huge treaded tank with that can actually strafe, the Inferno, which is a flamethrower tank, the Hover tank, which uses anti-grav technology. So I assume it's just as effective as on land or on water? Can it even go on water? The Marksman, which is a medium tank with a laser weapon as its main gun. Apparently it's good for sniping. The Hornet, which is a tank with 2 missiles mounted on top. The Hydra, which has 2 rapid-fire guns. The Rhino, which is a heavy tank destroyer, which is a huge cobbled-together tank. Practically invulnerable from the front, but it can get hit from the side or the back pretty well. And lastly, a mystery tank. Apparently Cassandra will help us discover this mysterious vehicle. How do I even get this mysterious vehicle that it's talking about anyway? Man, right out of the gate, the game's being cryptic as balls before I even fire it up. Alright, so just like the last manual, we get a rundown of the gangs in this game. Just like the vehicles, there's way more than the last one. We got Griffin's army, which is based in San Francisco, right where the first game ended. Madison, who actually gets a role here, which I think is hella awesome. She is the Queen Lord and controls her own portion of Griffin's army. The Skull Riders with a Z, a gang from the first game. Destruction is a way of life for this roaming motorized wolf pack made up of outlaw gangs and bikers who rule the interstates of the post-apocalypse. The Dark Angels, another gang from the first game, who consider themselves servants of their god. Their mission is to reshape the world in his name. Oh, again with his name. Oh man, not these jokers. Whoa, hey, what happened to you? Are you okay there, buddy? Your face don't look right. Like somebody tried to twist your face like a water bottle cap. The Shadow Ops gang who rules Washington, D.C. They are made up of former CIA agents and other covert operatives. They specialize in stealth and assassination. I don't know how to tell you this game, but I think every gang here is skilled in assassination. I mean, we all got tanks. The Crimson Guard, who controls most of the London territory. Their bitter enemies are the Iron Maidens. Wait, that's it? I feel like some of these gangs are a little bit flimsy as far as their backgrounds go. Which is wild, because according to the unofficial BattleTanx wiki, there's more background for the Crimson Guard. Like how the X2 virus ended the lives of the female members of the royal family, including the Queen. The males then insisting on hosting extravagant rich parties while the royal guard was standing out there defending them from all the chaos of the apocalypse. Well, up until most of the royal guard cracked, in which they went ahead and proceeded to murder patriots and then the remaining royal family. Very reminiscent of the short story The Masquerade of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. The Iron Maidens, who are a tribe of women who control the West End of London, And that's it. Wasn't lucky enough to get any additional information on them, so moving on. Les Miserables, who are a gang of slaves in Paris. Ruled by Cassandra, these women and children have been forced to form a militia to protect her interests in the City of Lights. Okay, so I assume Cassandra is the big bad here. There's an entry in the wiki, but I ain't reading it because it spoils things, and just in case I'm right about Cassandra, I just want to experience it as the game intended. The Cold Warriors, wait, these guys are just skeletons! How are they alive? What is this, medieval on the PlayStation 1? This is a gang of insane soldiers obsessed with continuing the post-apocalyptic war long after the involved countries disappeared. They are secretive and ruthless. Their battle cry, "We will bury you," can frequently be heard in the streets of Berlin. The Storm Ravens. This ruthless group of women survivors patrol the western United States and have sworn loyalty to Cassandra. In return, she promised to teach them the ways of the Edge. I have no idea what all that means, but I assume I'll learn in the game. Alright, that's enough reading, let's get into the game already. There we go. We get tossed into the deep end and into the apparent story. We're treated to a recap of the events of the first game by Griffin himself, confirming what we read in the manual, and... Great googly moogly, what is that? Is that... Ma'am, are you okay? Do we need to call a doctor for you? It looks like someone was messing around with your facial features a la Mario 64. I take it that's Cassandra? Well, it must be, because apparently she's indeed spying on Griffin and Madison with their boy, Brandon. Yes, this is the child I've been searching for. Both the mother and the father have the Edge. Whatever the hell that means. They must die before they learn to use their powers, and their child will be mine. Yo, back off, lady. Don't be a creeper, or I'm gonna have to call in post-apocalyptic Chris Hansen on your scrunched up ass. All units, attack! Begin your assault at the airport. Kill everyone in the city except for the little boy I've told you about. Pretty straightforward first level. The handling on the attack feels way better than they did in the first game. It's really smooth and responsive, and absolutely less clunky. Though you can still get chewed up by enemy fire if you're not careful. Once this mysterious lady's army gets defeated, she goes for the ace up her sleeve. You've defeated my raiders, but now I'll turn your army against you. Kill your own people or die yourself. Fear the power of the Edge.
What's this Edge she's going on about? Mirror's Edge doesn't come out until 2008.
No. Not Mirror's Edge, just Edge. As for what it is, well, beats me. Apparently whatever the hell the Edge is enough to turn the entirety of Griffin's army against him and Madison, and their son. So it's time to escape the treacherous masses by going from one end of the map to the other, where Griffin and Madison's tank make their escape via a waiting boat.
We made the right choice to leave, Madison. It was the only way to avoid fighting our own people. But how did the Queen Lord hypnotize our warriors?
I don't understand it, but somehow I could feel her take over their minds. We have to stop her somehow. We then proceed to the next level, where we gotta invade the Skull Riders' camp. We're given access to BattleTanx at this point, and our mission is to take out all enemy tanks and the bunkers that keep spawning them. The BattleTanx is fun, but very, very flimsy. I think the one advantage you get is you get to, literally drive around in circles around tanks that really have a hard time keeping up with you. But they don't do much damage, and in the single-player campaign, I don't see them being very useful. Also, from what I've noticed, it doesn't look like you've got, traditional lives. You've got tank bucks. The amount of tank bucks that you have is going to determine whether or not you have enough to buy a tank to play the level. Each tank that you have, or have access to, costs a certain amount of tank bucks. Once you run out of tank bucks and can't buy no more, it's game over. Destroy all Skull Riders' tanks and bunkers to proceed to the next level. Griffin, I have found some hidden papers. The Skull Riders worked for the Queen Lord who drove us out of San Francisco, Cassandra. It looks like she rules an empire, She has bases all over the US and even in Europe.
Is there anything we can do to stop her?
Well, the Skull Riders were rounding up men and women for her and sending them by train to a fortress in Texas. They're doing genetic testing there for something called the Edge.
Sounds like those people could use our help. Next stop, Texas.
Ooh, so suspicions confirmed. That there crazy lady with a smooshed up face is indeed the big bad of the game, Cassandra. Use the slave train as cover to avoid gun emplacements and locate the prisoners. I'm sorry, wait a minute. The slave train? Good golly, Miss Molly, we're really going there, aren't we? Okay, so now this level was fairly challenging. While the game advises using the two trains that roll back and forth as cover from the various turrets and emplacements all around the map, it's not very intuitive for your end goal of saving the prisoners. I mean, sure, it does provide cover from said turret fire, but the moment you try to duck out from behind the trains, the turrets will keep firing at you, and if more than one has a beat on you, well, they'll just take you out completely. See, the best thing to do, or at least what I found worked for me, is to position yourself carefully around corners where the turrets are and try to take them out one by one. Sometimes you can get lucky and get into a position where you can fire on them, but they can't fire on you. It can be hard finding the right position to do that, though. You can also do a little bit of the 23 skidoo while shooting at them, dodging fire while shooting at them at the same time and hoping for the best. Be careful, though, because if you don't remember what turrets you haven't taken out yet, more than one can get a beat on you and save all the prisoners to advance to the next level. Oh, but I guess we're jumping right to it. Cassandra is using movies to control local gangs. Destroy both movie projector buildings with grenades. Okay. This mission is just as what's written on the tin. Though you gotta contest with a lot of enemy tanks with invincible spawn points, so you can't destroy their bunkers. You also have to try to throw grenades into very surprisingly well barricaded projector buildings.
So, according to the secret papers we captured, Cassandra's main American HQ is in Washington, D.C.?
Check. We should be able to capture her computer data on the Edge. But Griffin, I'm worried about Brandon. Can't we put him in a safe place for this battle? What do you mean this battle? Where have you been keeping Brandon this entire time? Oh, he's just riding shotgun in one of you guys' tanks while you were just annihilating the competition? I mean, okay, fine, it's the post-apocalypse, and anything really goes. I guess he's learning vital survival skills for his adulthood at this point.
We can use a fallout shelter. Even a nuke won't penetrate it.
Oh, and by the way, when you start this level, you basically capture the data by blasting the buildings in the Capitol, and you run over those little, floppy disks containing critical information about Cassandra's operations. At this point, I noticed that there's actually more tanks to offer. You get the Inferno, which only deals fire damage, but can be devastating up close, and the Rattler, which I decided to take for a spin. This little sucker is fast, but it only deals a fair amount of damage. Oh, and you're weak as hell, heck, so you gotta stay on your toes. It's kind of like the Moto Tank, but I think it's only slightly stronger than the Moto Tank. Blow up buildings, uncover data disks, and then hightail it out of there on the boat you D-Date on.
Brendan, can you feel the edge within your mind? Good. Now break open the door and come to me, child. Yes, you've done it.
Cassandra's taken our son. She must have used the Edge.
Take my hand, Griffin. We need to use the Edge ourselves, or we'll never defeat Cassandra. Help me find the power we need to win.
You must deal with Cassandra's bodyguards of Shadow Ops and destroy her Mighty Annihilator class Goliath tank. That's a mouthful. I decided to use the Edge ability for the first time and come to find out that the ability does one of two things. It either converts enemy tanks to friendly tanks, or they just spin around forever until the end of time. At this point, I'm starting to really get the groove of this game. Ride around, collect power-ups, fight various enemy tanks, and blow the ever-living bejesus out of buildings, both for fun and in an effort to both forge a path and collect power-ups. I'm actually kind of having fun with this game. Oh, and as far as I can tell, the Annihilator class Goliath tank is basically a Goliath tank with Gatling guns strapped to its sides, and a heaping helping of health.
Don't shoot! Brendan's on that chopper.
Cassandra has to be heading to Europe. There's no place left in America.
Wait, what? Really?
Just roll with it, Chip. I doubt the cartridge has enough memory space to span the entirety of the United States, okay? Just let him have it.
We'll have to put together an amphibious force and cross the Atlantic.
It's worth anything we have to do to get Brandon back.
I'll order some of our forces back west to liberate San Francisco while we're in Europe.
You must form a new army in Europe. Rescue the Iron Maidens gang. They have been imprisoned by the Crimson Guard.
So, all that talk about putting together an amphibious force to cross the Atlantic happened off screen, huh?
I mean, of course it did. We've got no time to even make a montage. Our son has been kidnapped by a woman who resembles a garbage pail kid. I decide to give the Goliath tank a whirl, and leaping lasagna, this thing packs a punch, and it's beefy as hell. Now, don't get me wrong here, it ain't invincible, but you can sustain a good amount of weapons fire before you gotta limp away and look for health somewhere. I think the funniest thing about the tank is that the way it's designed, it can be hard to see in front of you when you're doing battle sometimes. I mean, worst of all, if you have a wall directly behind you and the camera forces a zoom in, you're just completely blind. Can't see a damn thing. Alright, so this stage is a little tricky. Some of the Iron Maidens are in places that can only be accessed via a tunnel. However, it ain't linear. You have to hop from tunnel to tunnel to find the right one that will lead you into each inaccessible spot where each Iron Maiden is being held captive. All while fighting respawnable tanks and even being shot at by boats that are way out there in the ocean. Oh hey look, a bridge level! The only way to get to the Crimson Guards' base is to cross the Tower Bridge. Use guided missiles to clear a path. Hidden baddies, enemy boats, hidden minefields behind explodable walls, and an onslaught of tanks stand in your way as you try to press forward. Fun fact! If the fighting is starting to become a slog, you can just punch it forward, and so long as you can make it to the end without dying, the game doesn't care how many, if any, enemies you decimate, you complete the level. Be sure to defeat all Crimson Guard forces before taking on the Crimson Lord and his Annihilator-class tank. I mean, in reality, you can do it in whatever order you want, though I assume they advise that so that you don't find yourself on the receiving end of numerous tanks at the same time. Though, for the record, I was astonished at how fast I was able to dispatch the Annihilator tank. Can confirm, taking out the other tanks is absolutely optional. Cassandra has 4 secret labs in Paris. You have secured one, but must rescue scientists from the other 3 labs.
Hey, time out!
What's going on, Chip?
What happened to the Iron Maidens? The Crimson Guard? Since when did we capture a secret lab? When did we get to Paris?
I don't know. Since now, and apparently we traveled off screen again.
This game really likes to jump around narratively, huh, boss?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect the gameplay. So far, I'm having a blast, even when some sections are challenging. But I can't help but feel as though the pacing for the narrative itself is off. It feels kind of rushed, you know? But anyways, we gain access to even more tanks. The hover tank and the flippy. On a whim, I choose the hover tank because it sounds rad as hell. Only to come to find that while trying to make a standard tank with the agility of a moto tank or a rattler, they decided to make it slippery. Like Super Mario World slippery. Oh, not only that, but if you collide into a wall, you'll bounce back. If there's a wall directly behind you after you bounce back, you'll bounce even more. It was my own personal hell until I was mercifully put out of my misery. Back on the Goliath, I was able to gain the upper hand once more and lay waste to the enemies, though I had a close call or two. Had to rescue the cotton candy-haired scientists after all. Who happen to be twins? Quadruplets? What's the one where 3 clones? Who the hell knows anymore? Cassandra is hiding a secret army of at least 50 tanks in the town. Sneak in quietly and destroy every last tank.
What?
What do you mean, quietly? You want me to sneak in a tank? You can't do anything quietly in a tank. It's physically impossible to sneak anywhere with a goddamn flapping tank. You think Solid Snake called up Otacon and it was like,
Otacon, this sneaking crap just isn't for me. Get me an M1A1 Abrams so I can blast the hell out of Revolver Ocelot. Target acquired.
What? Oh, shit.
I don't know if the game will let you beat the stage by just sitting there and letting all the enemies come to you, since they kind of respawn all the time and you do have to find the ones that are kind of hiding. But look, I don't have the kind of time or patience to find that out. But moving on. Destroy the laser-equipped Eiffel Tower to stop Cassandra's radio broadcasts. Shoot the power generator at its base. See, that's how hardcore you know this game is. It's got grammar errors. Time to navigate Gay Paris by taking the tunnels and avoiding the stray laser blasts from the Eiffel Tower itself, all while blasting away enemies. This one took me a while because even though I was in the Goliath, the blasts from the Eiffel Tower were pretty brutal. They got some major range, so it was hard for me to even be in the general area trying to figure out where to go without being, completely electrocuted or whatever the hell kind of energy blasts those things are. Eventually, I figured out that I had to navigate the dizzying underground maze before being able to emerge out of the right exit to be able to blast the antenna and, by proxy, the Eiffel Tower itself. Man, gotta love that camera. Oh, hey, actual story again.
Look at these computer displays. Cassandra was the one that created the plague, but why?
No, that's a really good question. Why?
I think I understand. Do you? She must believe that the Edge is the future of humanity. Her virus bought out the latent Edge powers in women, and it eliminated any woman who didn't have the Edge.
Oh no! She must need Brandon for the next step in her plan. We need to take the scientists we rescued to Berlin so they can examine Brandon once we find him.
You must move heavy supplies and weapons through the Brandenburg Gate. The transports must be defended from enemy attack. Oh boy, time for my least favorite stage in all of the game. Alright, check this. So you gotta defend the convoy. Simple, right? Well, not if you don't know where things are ahead of time. You got tanks coming out from both sides, machine gun turrets in the way, mines in the way, locked doors in the way. The convoy also has no way to defend itself. Oh, not to mention it has no self-preservation whatsoever. The various convoy vehicles will gladly run over mines and drive towards enemy fire, and will do so until they get blown to pieces. Now, the trick is to drive around and try to take out the various enemies and clear the mines before the convoy hits them. Thankfully, even if one near-death convoy vehicle makes it to the end, it's still considered a victory. Thank God! Decided to try out the Rhino, which is the tank that's heavily defended in the front but weak on the sides and the back. But there was no room for experimentation here. I had to switch back to the Goliath tank because that's what's been working for me so far. Cassandra has hidden your son among several look-alike children. Rescue all 3 children from the war zone. This Cassandra character is a real freak, Get another level where you gotta rescue prisoners, but at least you don't gotta take them back to your base. Just get them all and make your way back to the starting point when you're done. This is where the game was starting to get a little rough for me. Not impossible, but certainly difficult at times. I found myself surviving skirmishes by the skin of my teeth. Even in a Goliath, a lot of firepower gets concentrated on you at various points, including hidden turrets at each spot where the children are being held.
We've got Brandon back, but I'm worried about him.
The scientists we've rescued should be able to figure out what Cassandra's done to him, but we've got to get him home first.
Can we get away from here in one piece with all these civilians to protect?
No. No, because I suck at the convoy missions, and that's what we're going to be doing next. You have hidden the children amongst several transport vehicles. They must make it out of Berlin intact. Oh, come on, game. You can't just put that sort of onus on me. Jeezums, crazums.
Well,
I mean, like I said, I suck at these levels, and when I finally got to the end after scrambling around to defeat each vehicle, one barely made it out. I'm gonna tell myself that they all made it, and that they were all in one transport and the others were decoys.
Attack warriors. I want that child, and if he can't be mine, he'll belong to no one.
Lady, what is your malfunction? The Storm Ravens have amassed over 70 tanks for their invasion. You must stop them from getting ashore. Okay, well, this is just the bonus level from the first BattleTanx, except now it's basically a whole level. 70 tanks? Alright, let's get this done. So basically, the Goliath in this stage is on a track that can only move left and right. You're restricted in movements due to this. However, in exchange, the Goliath can rapid fire in this mode. You can actually disconnect the Goliath tank from the track and drive it around like a normal tank. Were you able to do that in the first game? I actually don't remember. I only played the single-player campaign after all, and I don't think you could decouple the tank from the bonus stages. I don't think. Either way, this particular level is a bit grueling. It sends out a variety of tanks, and you do in fact have to defeat all 70 that it sends at you. Staying on the track might not be the best idea, since one of the main ways to stay alive is to destroy enemy tanks and then mow over their corpses, and getting the little star power-up that replenishes a little bit of health. There's not a lot you can access on the track, so it's best to bail when you're starting to hurt. I actually did it by accident, not realizing that it was something that I could actually do, which is, well, kind of tracks for me. Get it? Tracks for me? I made a pun.
Don't quit your day job, boss.
You can't let me have nice things, can you? Once mobile, there's plenty of power-ups to be found in the area, including tank buddies. Destroy all 70 tanks to win.
Warriors, retreat. We can't win here. Brandon, obey me one last time. Burn bright. Burn the whole world, my son.
Whoa, wait. Hold on a second. Stop for a moment. I know this is a dramatic part of the story, but...
What story?
Shush you. I mean, look at her face in both of in the cinematic picture and in the little avatar thing. She's got a smooshed face at the bottom where the avatar is, and then the cinematic, she almost looks normal. Well, okay, she has a striking resemblance to Lae'zel, but that's neither here nor there.
Come back to us, Brandon. We love you. Use the power of the edge for life, not death. Mom? Dad? What did I do?
Whoa! Yo! Is that Brandon? Is that what he looks like? What is it with these characters in this game looking one way in the cinematic art and then looking like demons in their avatar thingies next to their dialogue?
It doesn't matter, son. The only thing that matters is that you heard us. Everything's all right now.
Oh, look at that. And just like in Super Runabout San Francisco Edition, the climax takes place in Alcatraz. Cassandra has established a base on Alcatraz. You must stop her before she can put a doomsday plan into action. A doomsday plan? What? Remotely detonating a small child with mystical powers of the unknown wasn't good enough for you? You're sick, lady! Sick! And the only cure is blasts from a tank, because I don't even know what kind of ammunition those things use. The game does its best to throw everything at you at this point. Twists and turns, all of the tank types. In fact, the only thing that the final stage doesn't throw at you are tunnels. Which could have fooled me. I was half expecting the maze from The Shining. Except, underground, cramped, and reminding me of that one Doom level in the Toy Story game for the Super Nintendo. Well, since I figured it was the last stage, I try out the Rhino again, since it feels like, I may as well. But things don't look too good for me. Wait a second, a nuke? I haven't seen one of these in the whole entire game. Well, you guys remember the nuke, right? It's a weapon of literal mass destruction, wipes out buildings, enemies, and allies alike. Also, if you don't put enough distance between you and the bomb, you'll actually die. Ah, what the hell? Bombs away! Oof, ugh. Well, that could have gone better. Back to the Goliath. Thanks to the nuke, most of the forces have been obliterated, and all that's left is Cassandra and her Annihilator Goliath. We exchange fire. I try dodging some shots, find out that her tank is cloaked so I can't see her, but hey, she seems to be finding being stationary being a perfectly good tactic, so I unload and... Oh boy, howdy, that there is a nuke. Not mine. Apparently, Cassandra was able to throw a nuke, but I blasted it at Kingdom Come right before that thing landed and went off. Lucky me. Though, wouldn't that have taken her out too? Why would she throw... I doubt there's much to that plan, honestly. Yeah, there's about as much thought to that plan as there is to the narrative, I feel.
We made it, Madison. I'm so proud of you and Brandon. I feel as if we're closer now than we were before our troubles.
I feel the same way, and Brandon is becoming a remarkable child. Someday he'll help us create a world better than anything we had before the apocalypse. One where the edge is used for peace as well as for war.
At last, the chosen one. I found her. Powers, aid me. Let the dead live again.
Oh, yeehaw, the world is safe. For now. I got the ultimate warlord, ranking, grade, whatever, and a secret level cheat, but I never managed to get it working, so I don't know what the hell it is. Oh, and we get tossed back to the title screen. The end.
That's it? Not even credits?
Nope. You have to manually launch the credits from the main menu. They don't even play when you beat the game.
So, we don't figure out why Brandon was so special. Why the hell did this Cassandra character do all those things that she did? And it's left on a cliffhanger.
That about sums it up, yeah.
Oh, don't tell me we have to find out what happens in BattleTanx 3.
Haha. See, I got some good news, and I got some bad news about that. The good news is, I ain't playing BattleTanx 3. Bad news? Well, there isn't one to speak of. Well, you see, the developer 3DO went bankrupt in 2003, about 4 years after the release of Global Assault. So any plans to make a sequel out of the hook that they just laid out at the end there went out the proverbial window. But I mean, come on, what possible story could there be to continue? There was barely one there now. I mean, even the first one's ridiculous narrative felt 10 times more compelling and longer. It felt like I was experiencing some sort of motion comic epic in the first game. Whereas here, we get some dialogue and a fair amount of plot dumping in the form of paragraphs at the start of some stages with a considerable amount of happenings off camera. The pace on top of all that feels rushed and not very thought out of. Oh, and don't get me started on the character design. Sheesh. I mean, also, I couldn't help but notice that the music was kind of lacking too. I mean, it was serviceable, it did its job. But the first one had songs that really punched in that dramatic fighting feel in the darkness of hopelessness. The songs in Global Assault, felt just like saying, hey, let's just do a little bit of rock and roll, yeah. But hey, where this game lacks, it more than makes up for in the gameplay. Compared to the first game, the improvements really excel and really make this game a fun, destructive jaunt in this post-apocalyptic playground. The weapons feel satisfying, the power-ups feel like they really pack a punch, and I really like their redesigns of on their little icons. And even though I ended up using 1, 2, or 3 vehicles for the most part, the fact that they crammed in so many options is astonishing for a game on like the N64. They really put in a lot in this small cartridge.
Well, what do you know? You actually like the game, huh, boss?
You know what? I did. It was a lot of fun and improved on a game that I loved to play as a kid from like the first installment. Hell, it made it 10 times more enjoyable, I would even say. Also, I like the idea of Griffin and Madison riding alongside each other in tanks, laying waste to their enemies while being in love. Truly, the epilogue that those two deserve from the first game. Well, that's it for me. I hope you all that were hoping that I'd cover this game are happy. That was certainly a pleasant surprise for me as far as sequels go. I may actually play this thing for funsies on my own time now that I finished the story. But hey, if you like what you saw or have any recommendations of your own on anything you want to see me go over, why not leave a comment below? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell button. And as always, remember,
Stay safe and keep on gaming.